15 seasons of full competition behind him, gives no signs of nearing the end of his amazing career.
Art Monk is now number one, the most prolific pass receiver in the National Football League's history. Touchdown, Washington Redskins.
This is Harry Hog Football, the original Redskins Fans podcast. On today's show, we talk about the game between the Washington Redskins and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and how the Redskins bring the bend but don't break defense to the extreme. This is much more live with Aaron and John.
Yep.
Whoa, I held the "This is Harry Hog Football" a little too long. What's up, John?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Excellent.
Welcome, everybody. Harry Hog Football, episode number 461.
Yeah.
In which the Redskins give up 500 yards of offense, but only 3 points.
3 points.
To which
3 points.
I don't know what to say. It's like they only gave up 3 points. 3.
Now, they missed 2 field goals, right?
All right, so that's 9 points if
Right.
they would have made them. That kicker got, by the way.
Oh man,
I
I
saw
already joked my friend Tom that is a big Tampa Bay fan, season ticket holder, from back in college. Elon.
Costanza.
I already joked him about that guy this year because I was like, "Your guy sucks, man." But they had that Aguero guy they drafted in the second round. They ended up having to cut him because he stunk.
I thought he was a soccer player.
Sure.
Aguero.
I think there's a whole lot of Agueros that play soccer, but only one played football, and he was a kicker, and he got cut.
And so did Costanza after those misses the other day. You know who else got cut? Dude we were talking about last week. He got my third kick in the balls award. Casey Dunn.
Oh, dude, yeah. What happened to him?
He got waived because everyone, including us, were on the airwaves going, if Casey Dunn can't even beat out some dudes on the street, like what's the point of him being on the team? And then Dan Snyder probably marched down to Jay Gruden's office and was like, hey, Jay, if Casey Dunn isn't better than these guys on the street, why is he on the team? And then Jay was like, oh, he's still in the squad? That was just an oversight.
Oh, my bad.
I thought he was gone weeks ago.
Cut. Oh,
Anyway.
he wants chicken.
Let's see who's in the chat room and give a warm Harry Hog welcome to Alamo City Live Music. Yo, yo, yo.
Oh, yeah, and thank our
You're in there. John.
sponsor, Desmond C. Lee. You can reach him on Twitter at Desmond C. Lee 2 because Desmond C. Lee 1 was,
Taking her hacked.
yeah. And we are Harry Hog Football. You can catch us at Harry, Harry Hog, on Twitter, harryhogfootball.com if it's working. We have no idea. Josh does that.
Okay, so apologies to those of you who did not get our podcast last week. We've spent like the entire week trying to, in the traditional ways. I spent the entire week first trying to figure out the login to the place where the actual podcast is uploaded. That key is held by Josh. So I finally found some password stored in my computer from 5 years ago after trying literally every one of our passwords I could think of, like every Redskins player in the history of the Redskins and more.
Yeah, yep.
And I even tried the password Odd Body to get in, Odd Body 74, stuff like that. So anyway, I finally get into the account and I was able to manually basically put the podcast in there, and then it worked. So for those of you who are listening traditionally, instead of on YouTube, you didn't get the podcast until yesterday after the game. But this week, is going to change, and I'm gonna freaking redesign our webpage so that, because we don't even really keep it up, but all that's going to be on there is basically link to the latest podcast on the different places where you can listen to it, like TuneIn or Stitcher or iTunes, and the link to the YouTube podcast. And that's it. That's going to be the whole page.
Because where we like putting information to you guys, we do the podcast and we put it on Twitter.
Yeah.
So,
and I'll even like maybe bring our Twitter feed in there. I don't know. It's going to be super simple because we don't have time to keep that up. But anyway.
Josh, man.
So everybody in the chat room is supposedly meeting us at the Hale BBQ tailgate party, right, guys? Before the game this Sunday, because we're going. John's and ours first game back at FedEx in a while.
Yeah.
And it's very timely after Josh Norman's comments asking why the fans aren't there. Well, John has a pretty good freaking excuse, Josh Norman.
Yeah. I blame Dan Snyder for that, by the way. I hope we run into him this weekend. I'm going to be like, Daniel? Yeah.
Daniel? It is, I found out this week that it's going to be alumni weekend, so we might run into some of our old favorites like Art Monk, Darryl Green, Joe Gibbs.
John Riggins, maybe.
John Riggins.
Maybe.
And then a lot of people that we don't like will probably show up.
Probably. You know who Sharp Ordonish?
Sharp Ordonish, Daryl Pounds. Dude, if I could get that clip of Sonny saying Daryl Pounds, that would be amazing. It's Daryl Pounds. Was it Sonny or Sam that said it?
It was Sam.
Sam.
That's
Anyway.
Daryl Pounds. Oh, man, that guy sucked. He was so bad.
Dude, Alamo City Live Music says he can't make it to the game because he's getting married on Saturday.
Whoa, dude.
Dude, what great way to start your honeymoon than to head over to Washington, hang out with us before the game with your beautiful Redskins fan wife.
Yeah, that sounds like a perfect venue.
Perfect start.
I can't
your
think of
married
anywhere
life.
else I'd want to go than FedEx Field the day after my wedding.
Unless he's going to like
He's probably like,
Bermuda,
I'm going to
Bahama. Come on, pretty mama.
Baby, why don't we go to the Kokomo?
Get there fast and then we take it slow. It's where Alamo City Live Music's gonna go.
Whoa, whoa.
Way down to Kokomo, Indiana. Actually, he's going to Colorado snowboarding. That's cool, too.
Dude, that's awesome.
Although I'm already a little cold. In fact, I'm wearing my Redskins robe already. Look.
Aaron's wearing his robe.
I'm in what I like to
Pull
call...
up the other side. There you go.
I'm in what I like to call my soft clothes for the evening.
My soft clothes.
So I get home, from being out and about, and I'm like, I'm putting on my soft clothes.
Felling trees. Putting on my soft clothes.
That might be the name of this episode, putting on my soft clothes. Sand can't come. Everyone's bailing on us.
We'll see who's there.
We'll see. I'm sure Will and Maryland will be there. We need to hit him up.
We'll be there.
We'll be there.
Well, some of the people that are in soft clothes right now are Jerron Christian Sr., who got placed on the reserve injured list. What happened to him?
Dude,
last time I saw him, he was at the game going, whoa! And now he's injured for the rest of the year. What happened to him?
I don't...
Oh! One job, Jerron.
I don't know. Does anyone in the peanut gallery know what happened to Jerron Christian?
I figure, it'll be like, I don't know, Brandon Sheriff, torn pectoral, like in parentheses. I figured for him it was like Jerron Christian Sr., parentheses, act of God. Injury.
act of God. Like, we don't know what happened to him.
No one knows.
It was an act of God that's preventing him from being on the field. Yeah, so he's on IR, and I think I read an article today that pretty much all of our rookies, Sands, Deron Payne, and Hamilton, and Adonis, which we got in the supplementary draft. They're all on the IR.
With Adonis Alexander, he's not good enough to play. We got a supplemental draft pick on him. I know it's a 6th-round pick. I guess he's a work in progress, kind of like we thought Casey Dunn was, and then they didn't even realize he was on the roster.
They're done with Dunn.
They're done with Dunn. Oh yeah.
Wait.
Oh, I found it today. Here we go. All right, today they have made the following roster moves according to Redskins.com. That modicum of awesome Redskins news. It's never wrong. Cornerback Joshua Holsey was waived from the active roster. He was on the active roster. All right, Redskins played the following player on injured reserve, John Christian Sr. The Redskins terminated the contract of the following player from the practice squad, Aaron, running back Mac Brown.
I didn't even know he was still on the squad.
I didn't think so either. I thought the Ravens got him or something. And then the Redskins signed the following player to the practice squad, Casey Dunn. He's back.
He's back.
Casey Dunn. You better.
He had to clear waivers for a day or something, right? And there's some rule about that.
I guess so.
So they're not quite done with Dunn.
Nope. Dunn's still there.
Wow, man. That's breaking news.
Josh Holt.
So basically almost all of our rookies are injured. Amongst a lot of other dudes. But is it possible we're getting some dudes back this week?
Well, it depends. It depends on we'll see if we can get
Dunbar?
Maybe Dunbar with that nerve impingement or whatever it is. What's that receiver I'm thinking of? A little short guy.
Crowder?
Jamison Crowder. He might come back. I don't know. What's all these little guys except for Dunbar, like little Jamison Crowder and little Chris Thompson?
What about that other rookie receiver, Quinn? Trey Quinn.
I haven't heard anything about him. We may not get him back this year, but we still got 7 games, so.
Dude, I may be suiting up on Sunday.
I know, dude. I'm going to be sitting there in the seats going, where's Aaron? Where's Aaron? Now coming into the game. Number 0, Aaron Allen.
Number 74, Odd Body 3, Aaron Allen.
Allen. And like the 7,000 fans that are there are going to be like.
And then you'll see me like pumping up the crowd. And then everyone will be like, dude, don't pump them up on offense. I'll be, oh, sorry, I was pumped.
Oh, crap.
Dude, I almost started cracking up during the intro because I realized that clip of you at the Panthers game when it's up on the Jumbotron is you saying, I am pumped.
I am pumped. I remember that very well, saying that.
Like if you look at your mouth, you can make it out.
I am pumped.
Anyway, all right, here's the words coming in from BNG Buns, a.k.a. what was his old name? Rabbit Rads. Here is what I have read. Crowder is maybe. Quinn is cleared to play. Dunbar is questionable. Joshua Holsey is now activated.
Joshua Holsey.
He's activated.
He's activated, but he got released from the active roster.
Dude, how does that work?
I don't know.
They keep circulating dudes in.
Redskins.com. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know they're wrong all the time.
Dude,
I don't know,
I tried to look up injuries on Redskins.com before the podcast, and it was still showing last week.
Yeah, it showed it said at the top, Redskins placed Jerron Christian Sr., parentheses, active God, on injured reserve. And it said the other stuff about the other people, like Mac Brown being terminated.
Not cut.
Cut. He didn't get cut. He got terminated.
That's like worse than getting cut. That means he's not going to resurface anywhere. It's like Arnold.
Mac Brown, come here.
Terminated.
Case it done.
In real life, though, Jerron Christian got an MCL tear.
Did he really?
Yeah. Did we ever hear any more about the Brandon Scherf injury where they indicated on television that it could have been a cheap shot, and that's why everyone was mad, but then they never showed it again?
No, it was a torn pec. It just happens. I mean, who gives you a cheap shot? They're like, come here, boom, and,
And then your
you
pec
right
goes. And then your pec tear. It happens to me because I'm pretty buff.
It's because it was. I'm sure his arm was like. If you're watching on YouTube, HarryHog / YouTube, you can see my arm is stretched out.
Yeah.
And
I see a little twig stretched out.
twigs.
Yeah, okay, I see it.
I've got my other twig over here. And usually it's something like that, and someone grabs their arm and pulls it, and it just pulls too far.
Gotcha.
Remember Arakpo? He had that happen 2 years in a row. He's still
Wait, is
playing.
B&G Buns giving us fake news on this Dustin Hopkins report?
Oh, what's up with that?
Is that true? I'm not going to announce it until I know it's true. I don't think B&G Buns would do us that way, though.
I think you've already said it.
I guess I have to. According to sources, B&G Buns.
Yeah, it's according to sources.
B&G Buns, once a proud member of BR. Dustin Hopkins is, quote, banged up, and the office is looking for a replacement.
Interesting.
What? Dude, are you telling us the truth, B&G?
I don't see why he would be.
I don't either.
I don't see why he wouldn't be. Why he's always been truthful so far.
He said he read it on Bleacher Report.
Oh.
Okay, it could be fake news, dudes. So don't.
Yeah, if it's on there, I'm not so sure.
As my mom and dad used to always say, consider the source.
Consider the source.
Consider the source, young Aaron.
Consider the source. No, sir.
Well, consider the source. John said, well, consider the source.
Consider the source. No, sir.
Oh, my goodness. Why do our rookies go on IR? Because we ride them too hard. I don't know.
We tend to like two or three of our, at least two of our guys had like major injuries in college. So maybe they're, I don't know. Maybe because we've been a mediocre team for so long, a lot of guys we draft are guys that this guy could be a second-round pick if he wasn't injured all the time, that the Redskins got him in the 4th round. And so we'll have to see what happens, and they end up being injured.
And we're so mediocre that a lot of our rookies don't get eased in, like if they played for the Patriots or something. They have to get thrown to the Wolves right away. But
that as well. Yeah.
It just seems like we always get so injured. I mean, we're in what week is this? 11? In first place by 2 games, thanks to Josh and Noah's
11.
squad winning last night.
No. Yeah.
2 nights ago.
Yeah.
So anyway, and we don't have anyone left to play. I mean, this win was insane. Are we going to actually talk about this game? To me, it was insane that we were able to win this game because basically the Buccaneers were just doing stupid stuff up and down the field.
The Buccaneers looked like us.
Yeah. They're almost like a clone of us.
Yeah, really. And they have been for years.
As far as being mediocre and doing dumb things.
And doing stupid stuff. Like extending play or extending drives. The field goal kicker can't spit over the crossbar.
Throwing interceptions down in the red zone, getting a ball punched out in the red zone.
Ball punched out. That was the most random stuff, man.
Did they have 2 interceptions in the red zone? Josh Norman was
we
the other one.
4. I can't even remember.
Stroman
I know we got 4 altogether. I know Stroman.
Dude, that one Ryan Anderson punched out was my play of the game because that was a huge turning point there. Huge
it was
for us. And he punched. All right, I'm only half joking when he said this. He punched that ball further than Alex Smith threw one. That thing went 20 yards at least.
Yeah.
Let's see. Wasn't the bold prediction that Tampa wouldn't fire off the cannon once? No, I think I said that the Redskins were going to win 17-14.
Something like that. You did say they weren't going to fire off the cannon once, or maybe it was once in the first half or something like that.
I don't
So
know.
that was pretty precarious.
I did say it was going to be a low-scoring affair, which it was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
So-
it so could have been such a different game. I mean, like you said, we got 4 turnovers, didn't give up the ball. They kept the ball, or they turned the ball over to us twice in the red zone, we remember that.
At least.
I mean,
twice.
they missed 2 field goals. That would have been 9. What if they scored a touchdown on one of those other things? This game would have been like right there. It would have been a typical Mike Allstott running over the goal line, allegedly, supposedly.
He
in the
wasn't
last
in,
play.
dude. He
I
was
know
not
it wasn't.
in.
Even my friend Tom said that he's a season ticket holder down there at Raymond James.
He was
He just
totally
didn't
not
get
in.
in.
I don't even remember the game. I just remember being like, he was not in.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, it could have been, if they weren't so dumb, this could have been a second blowout in the row.
It
We
could
got
have been.
So
And
lucky.
And they had Fitzpatrick in there. He was not Fitzmagic. That helped us a lot. I mean, the first interception he threw to Norman at the goal line was over that receiver's head. So
It was a freaking nice catch by Norman, though.
it was a great catch. It was right to him because the receiver was like, "Whoa!"
Well, it was over his head. He had to like dive backwards to catch it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like between the cheeks, like
No.
Last
That's
week
why
when-
you knew he was. That's why you knew he was going to catch it.
Peterson
Kinda
got
like
that one thrown between the cheeks, and he couldn't even bring it in last week.
Between cheeks.
So anyway, yeah, it could have been easily a blowout for the Bucks.
Oh
which,
yeah.
I mean, so this brings me back to the whole bend but don't break thing. And I've heard talk on the radio with Fred Smoot and Brian Mitchell and them saying, well, that was their game plan. And because during the whole game, I'm like, why are we playing 12 yards off of their receivers when they need 8? You know what I mean? Or 5.
But when we had like a Johnson and Strowman and folks in there on one side of the field, they were just killing him over and over and over and over again. So I don't know. I guess, like you said, that's the whole bend but don't break kind of thing. But it's just extremely frustrating to look at it, and you're just like, the guys are 12 yards off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Over
I mean,
and over.
in better teams, you can't just stay 12 yards off of them and expect them not to score at the end or like get balls punched out or picks. I mean, it's going to be a test this week with another good team coming in.
Yeah.
Um,
The Texans are another team. They've got a lot of offensive weapons.
yep.
They could, I mean, it could be a really close game, or they could blow us out. I mean, they really could.
I don't see us blowing anyone out. I don't even know who's playing. I'll tell you one thing, though. The offensive line that I texted you the night before, I said, do you know who our starting left guard is? I do. It's Jonathan Cooper.
Yeah, no lie. He had 2 holding penalties. One of them wasn't a hold.
Moses had one that was a complete not hold. It was the opposite. It was a push.
Yeah, and I don't know. Cooper seemed a lot steadier in there than Laval ever has. So, hey,
Dude, he was better. And I got to hand it to the O-line. I mean, I don't know the stats. I don't think they gave up too many sacks on Smith for dudes that have never played together and only practiced for like 2 days. They look pretty good.
I'm looking it up right now.
Alex Smith, though, let's talk about him. There was multiple times during this game where I was like, all right, I'm done with Alex Smith. I could go with Colt McCoy now and just see if he can do anything better. Because all he does is throw those little...
He doesn't take chances. He didn't take chances at all. At all.
Jay Gruden, once again, Jay Gruden. I know I don't like to be so negative, especially when we have a win, but Jay Gruden, dude, what's up with the use of timeouts And then when he's up with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, instead of going up to the line and running down the clock to like 1 or 2 every time like I would, they just go up there and hike it.
Yeah, yeah. And you're like, okay, they could have taken another 5 seconds on that play. Multiply that by 10 plays.
Yeah, it's almost another minute they would have given a team to go down this field
That's
and kick
2
a field
plays.
goal.
That's giving the other team 2 plays at a leisurely pace. So,
Yeah, at least.
ugh.
Pepper Spray's disagreeing with me, and he's saying that McCoy would be 3-6 with 3 picks a game.
he might have a point with that.
So Pepper Spray is liking staying with the safe Smith rather than pew 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 slinging in there McCoy.
And I mean, this is what we have. And everyone knew it when we decided to trade for him, McNubb 2.0.
Yep.
So it's not like this is a big surprise. We've got a guy who's afraid to throw it into coverage. He's afraid, like he did a little bit on this by just throwing the ball deep a couple times, and like one time we got a pass interference, and I mean he is what he is.
I remember when I was talking about playing the odds with the deep ball.
Yeah, you and everybody. But you were talking about it first, like we often do on Harry Hog Football.
Well, other people were saying the same thing?
Last week, everybody was saying that.
No, I mean the thing about, all right, if you're thinking about throwing the deep ball,
Yeah.
there's one completely bad thing that can happen.
Right.
An interception return for a touchdown. A
Right,
pick
yeah.
is the same as a punt if you throw
Yeah.
deep. A incompletion is, neither here nor there. But the good things are a completion, a pass interference call, defensive holding call, or half the time roughing the passer.
Just throw the ball deep, man.
Just put it up. Pepper spray. This is what you get when you buy a 5-team pro quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
5 teams.
It's the best we could do. Remember, we're mediocre. We've been for a long time. It's not like we're going to get someone like a Pat Mahomes or someone to drop in our lap. So, he doesn't take chances, but he doesn't throw picks. If we can keep the running game going, that's the biggest thing. We got to keep the running game going.
Yeah, and real quick, B&G Bunn's point is that he doesn't turn it over, and we're also plus 11 on turnovers. That's got to lead the league. It has to.
I don't know if it's leading the league, but I mean, getting 4 yesterday or Sunday was helpful to that as well. It's really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the defensive line is good, but now people are just not going to run until their pass opens up the run, which is what's been happening the last few weeks.
Right, yeah.
But anyway, do we want to what else do we want to say about this game? The Redskins fought hard to win it.
It was, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I understand what Josh Norman was saying about like fans at home that are booing and everything, but I mean, he's got to go out and like talk to the fans and figure out what's going on with that, because we all know.
Yeah.
And we've all been dealing with it for like 20-something years, dealing with the crappy owner and then the crappy people he was hiring to do his stuff for so long. Jim Zor. And, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I don't have anything else to say about it. The Bucks suck.
Yeah, the whole Norman thing, calling out the fans for not cheering and being there and this and that. It's like Dan Snyder for years has just tried to milk the fans for every cent they have.
Oh,
and
yeah.
now everyone's like, I'm just going to watch it at home where it's more fun.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost me $1,000, and I don't have to pay $12 for a drink. And
dude, I believe they have $9 beer, $9 Bud Lights in like some table somewhere at the stadium.
I mean, You reap what you sow is all I'm saying on that, Dan Snyder.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
the stadium doesn't even have half the stadium anymore. It's all been cut out.
There are seats out that are gone that Aaron and I have sat in the past.
I think they're right here, dude.
Yeah, right up
here.
in that spot.
These were our season seats in this section. That's not there anymore on the podcast. I'm pointing to it if you're listening traditionally tomorrow or tonight. Anyway, Josh Norman, I don't really care about his comments, but you know, I would like people to cheer. Some of the problem is
I would like the team to be not
better.
mediocre for 20-something years. So
Yeah.
there you go.
That's what Fred Smoot was saying, that Josh Norman and them are paying for when he and other people played on the Redskins. He's like, don't blame them.
Fred Smoot to me.
Oh man, Fred Smoot was crazy.
That's a good one. That's good.
I mean, Josh Norman, he stepped up a little bit, except in that Atlanta Falcons game where he had that egregious pass interference play. But, you know, I don't have anything to say about it. I will be there and I will cheer, and if they suck, I will yell. And if they do something completely stupid, I will boo. You know why? Because I pay for the ticket.
Yeah, no lie.
I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, truly. It's like we're paying money to come see you play, getting millions of dollars to see you play. So quit bitching about us, booing you guys if you're not doing well,
And do better.
Yeah, and do better. That's the new reality, I guess, for being a Redskins fan. Instead of being like, man, I can't believe we're not making the playoffs this year after winning the Super Bowl last year or something like this. Now we're just like, you guys suck. We're sick of you guys sucking.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is.
And all right, one last thing before we move forward with the games and kicks. So Josh and Noah were like texting me saying that I needed to cheer for the Cowboys the other night.
Who?
Josh and Noah. Josh's man-child. I was like, I'm not cheering for the Cowboys. He's like, yeah, but even Clinton Portis is. And I'm like, Clinton Portis hasn't been a Redskins fan his whole life. If he has, he would never cheer for the Cowboys. And I was like, I'll cheer for them to tie. He was like, but we'll be 2 games up. And I was like, what will a tie give us? Because that's what I'm hoping for. Anyway.
We'll do a tie.
Yeah, I love Pepper Spray's comment about the Beltway types who use the Redskins games as schmoozing fodder. Yeah. In fact, I think Fred Smoot or someone was like, and all these women are, it was some caller, and he's like, and I'm up there and I'm like yelling and cheering, and these women down in front of me turn back with their wine, turn back and look at me like I'm 2 years old, and then they turn back and start chatting and then keep going. Pepper Spray saying, oh, I read that. So anyway, yeah. So you got that type going too. You know, the people that just don't. That's a social event and don't care.
Yeah, and people go to sporting events like that all over the world just to be social.
Yeah,
social. So
not us.
Whatever. Not us this weekend. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome, man.
All right, so let's go into the
kicking the balls.
Yeah, let me play that. It's time for this week's Kicking the Balls Award. This week's Kicking the Balls Award, as usual, is brought to you by our sponsor, Rid-a-Poo. If you have a septic tank, get Rid-a-Poo so you don't walk in your yard one day and step in your doo-doo. Rid-a-Poo for your septic needs. Available at True Value and other fine establishments. All right. That being said,
Eric's just walking into True Value. It's like, hey, man, where can I get some Rid-a-Poo? Hey, man. Gotta get the real high voice. Hey, man.
Hey, man.
Gonna have to start pitting soon.
All right, go ahead and give your kick in the balls award.
My kick in the balls go. My kick in the balls goes to Casey Dunn because he got cut before the game even started. We signed 3 guys, 3 linemen, and cut him. So that's who my kick in the balls goes towards. Casey Dunn, you're cut.
I'm giving my kick in the balls award, and I'm stealing this from B&G Buns because I saw this, but I can steal it. Anyway, I'm going to give mine to Greg Minuski for playing 20 yards off the ball and giving 500 yards up to this squad.
16-3, they could have won that game easily. Yep.
Yeah.
Greg Minuski is like Barf. They need to be cut. We need new coaches. They've gone about as far as they could go.
Yeah, they did. and not to mention Barf with the whole mismanagement of time again. There was one play where I was like, remember Barf had a play, and I was like, whoa, for once we see something creative in his play calling. I'm trying to remember what the play was.
And then the very next play they had to call timeout.
Yeah. What was it, like a flip to the left, or I don't remember.
I can't remember.
Anyway, so yeah, Minuski. All right, in the peanut gallery.
Yeah.
We've got, of course, B&G Buns. I stole his, going to Minuski for giving up 501 yards on defense, even though it's only 3 points. And Pepper Sprays gives his kick to his mom's car because he was working on her brakes during the game.
Oh.
Ooh, that sucks, dude. Well, that's it from the peanut gallery. So I guess that's time to go to... Oh, hold on. Alamo City Live Music doesn't have one.
Oh.
But he endorses the kick to Minuski with 500
Yeah,
yards.
I think I'm going to change mine from Casey Dunn. I'm going to change mine. I'm going to change mine to Danny Johnson.
Yeah, Danny Johnson was pretty bad.
It was exactly what you're supposed to do when the opposite team has got a rookie that's not very good as a quarterback. You throw at him every play, which is another thing that Barf doesn't do.
Especially when this team supposedly had a crappy pass defense, and we still didn't go downfield that often. It started to come up a little more in the third quarter where we put that, was it the fourth, where we put that drive together all of a sudden?
I just think that the season's going to end up in disaster by the end of the season.
But here's the thing that's keeping it interesting is all the teams in the NFC East are kind of disastrous.
Yeah, and I think like the Eagles still have to play. I can't remember who else have to play. Us, yeah, as well. But I mean, those guys all have to play the same teams we've had to play. So
like the Saints and the Falcons.
Yeah.
I think the Eagles might have to play the Saints and the Rams. Am I mistaken on that?
I think that's correct, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, and Dallas. Yeah. I saw something after Dallas won against the Eagles, and it was like, look at the new trio in Dallas. And it was talking about Amari Cooper and Ezekiel Elliott and Dak. This was like 2 days after they're like, Jason Garrett's on the cutting board. You know what I mean?
What do you do?
Anyway, and then the Giants win last night. I went to bed, and they were losing, but I think they won. I think I caught wind of that.
27-23.
Wow.
How about that?
All right, so let's go to the Game Ball Awards.
Yeah.
And now, the coveted and ever-elusive Game Ball Award. Game Ball Award is brought to you by nobody. We don't have a sponsor for that. But if you know someone that wants to sponsor the Game Ball Award, you can get that season sponsorship pretty cheaply at Harry Hug Football. Just email me at aaron@harryhugfootball.com.
No, Aaron,
Make an offer.
Well, actually, I don't think we can get mail at our harryhogfootball.coms anymore because
It's
I know
fixed.
mine is. Is it fixed?
Mine's fixed as of like whenever Josh finally called them and put in a ticket, and they wrote him back like an hour later and were like, we don't see anything wrong with it, and that's miraculously when it started working.
All right. Okay, go for it.
Yeah. So Aaron at HarryHogFootball.com or
.com.
tweet us at HarryHog if you want to know how to sponsor the Game Ball Award and how much it will cost you. It may surprise you. It will be less than what Josh Norman gets per play.
Game ball, dude.
You want me to go?
Go for it.
I'm giving my game ball to Jonathan Cooper, our starting left guard, for coming off the street and playing actually pretty decently.
Literally coming off the street.
Literally. He was at CC's Pizza last Sunday watching the game, and this week he was playing in the game.
That's pretty nice.
So that's who's mine going to, Jonathan Cooper.
Well, I thought about giving mine to Josh Norman, but then he dissed on all the fans, so forget that guy. I could give Ioannidis another. We could give it to Ioannidis for having another sack. Another sack.
How many does he have? 7 or 8?
I don't know. I want to say something like that. Yeah. Danny Johnson, that poor guy. Dustin Hopkins had 3 field goals, but those guys are not who I'm giving it to. I'm going to give it to Josh Doxson because he caught a touchdown.
We talked about this during the game. He keeps taking these baby steps towards being a good player, like really small steps.
So it's possible. I mean, he could end up being one of those guys who only gets like 50 catches a year, but he's got like 7 or 8 touchdowns in there. So
I think that's a pretty good one, actually.
I think he deserved it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Let's see what
the peanut gallery has to say.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. Alamo City Live Music gives his to Josh Doxson. 4 targets and 4 catches.
Hey.
Yep. Sand gives his game ball to the Tampa offense for not scoring. And, yeah, you can't give it to the defense. And Catanzaro for missing field goals and getting. Michael Graff gives his to Bill Callahan. No sacks allowed with a patchwork one-job couch potato line.
I thought they gave her 3 sacks.
And report from B&G Buns is that Ioannidis has 7.5 sacks on the season.
Nice. Yeah, they gave her 3 sacks, including one to Vita Vea, who got drafted right before Deron Payne. But I mean,
one of those sacks was like scramble and then fell at the line. It wasn't like him getting crushed.
I thought the offensive line was really good, considering everything. Considering that guy was on the couch a week ago.
I want to see what the peanut gallery thinks about this, because I kind of brought it up with you, and I'm not sure what's going on. But what's going on with Adrian Peterson, them always sending him around like on a sweep instead of like between the tackle and the guard?
Tackles.
Is that because of the offensive line? Because it seems like whenever, like in the earlier part of the season, he would run between the tackles, he would do better than if he has to try to get around the end.
Yeah, because, I mean, he's not young. He's not a spring chicken. So, yeah.
And he's pretty powerful. I mean, you don't have to give him much of a crease in there for him to shimmy through and hit a few people and get 5 yards, whereas if he runs around the end, it seems like he's running 50 yards to get 2 or none or a loss of 2.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was just an observation. So, dudes, keep your eye out on that in these next games and see what you think. It's going to be great to be there this weekend and be able to see all 11 players at once, because that's the one thing I hate about TV. Oh,
Even
B&G Buns is
even
saying that
on par.
Gruden's playbook is not built for AP, but for Chris Thompson on the outside runs, and he doesn't adjust.
I think, and he's right about that.
I added he doesn't adjust, but yeah. What else? Do we want to talk about anything else, or we want to go get packed? Oh, where is on Saturday night? Don't the Redskins have like rallies at area, like restaurants and stuff? We need to find out where that is, and we need to
We have
meet
to
up.
check that out. I do watch a little bit of the Sports Junkies in the morning before I go to work, so I'll see if they say anything on there, or we can just look them up online.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Oh, I
Yep.
gotta give my precarious.
Oh yeah,
Okay, all right, here we go. Aaron's precarious predictions. That's the music.
precarious prediction.
This is going to be an interesting game. Last week, I was correct once again for the 6th time this season. I'm 6-3 on the year with my predictions, so I think it's pretty good. 66.66666%. Is that right? No, yeah.
Yeah, 66.666 continued.
So last week I picked the Redskins to beat the Buccaneers 17-14, and we won what, 16-3? Is that right?
Nope.
All right, this week, hold on, it's coming to me.
Yeah.
I see J.J. Watt with a sack
What?
in the second quarter. Embrace yourselves, Peanut Gallery, because Alex Smith will be on the sideline after the sack. Colt McCoy is going to come in after the offense has been completely anemic for the first quarter, and he's going to light them up for a touchdown. And then Alex Smith will shake the cobwebs off and come back in and be anemic for the rest of the game, and next week we'll be talking about quarterback controversy. But
Controversy in Washington this week.
the Redskins bend but don't break defense will have a repeat performance of last week. Mm-hmm. The Texans will roll up 503 yards of offense and only score, you ready for this?
10 points.
6 points.
What?
Redskins win this game 10-6.
Whoa.
10-6.
All right.
So there you go. So that's it, guys. If you guys are going to be near the stadium, send us an email, aaron@harryhogfootball.com. We might be live on YouTube from my cell phone. I think we can do that. We got to figure that out.
Yeah.
From outside the stadium. Might give some
I'm sure that won't go without a hitch at all.
What?
I'm sure that won't go without a hitch at all.
We'll attempt to. We'll attempt to do it. So don't be
yeah, we're going to attempt it.
depressed if it doesn't work. But we're going to try to do some live reporting from outside the stadium, if that can happen. You know how that might go. It might be funny. Who knows?
We're going to be
send us
with
email.
Hale Barbecue, eating
Aaron,
food.
we're going to be at Hale BBQ, so you can check those guys out on halebbq.com. A free, donation accepted tailgate party, which is always awesome, with Tailgate Ted and Tailgate Jared and those guys.
Yeah.
Is that it?
That's it. Crank it up.
Send us some email, aaron@harryhogfootball.com, the only one of our email addresses that actually works anymore. Hit us up on Twitter @harryhog. And I guess we'll see you guys next week on the podcast.
Check out Desmond CB2, our longtime benevolent sponsor, on Twitter as well. Harry Hog Football, Harry Hog on Twitter.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Hail to the Redskins, and if you see a Cowboys or Eagles fan this week, or Giants,
You know what to do.
joke 'em.
Yoga!